Welcome back. This is week 4 after shoulder surgery. This is a follow-up to the original video that I did. I'll post that link up here, well, wherever it's going to be. I suggest that you go look at that one first to see where we're going with this particular one. So week 4 after shoulder surgery. Stick around, we'll talk about some options that I've come up with. All right, thanks for dropping in. And week 4, as I said, after shoulder surgery, things are getting a little bit better. Pain is down to pretty much non-existent. If I don't move my arm just the wrong way, I can take the sling off for dressing, showering, etc. I still need some assistance with just some minor things, getting socks on, washing my left arm in the shower. Kind of hard to do it with the right hand here, but I do have more mobility with the right arm. I can actually now get a little bit closer to the keyboard, so some things are working a little bit better. I'm driving, did have to put seatbelt extenders in the cars so that I can actually buckle with my left hand instead of having to try to hunt for the seatbelt way down by the seat. That 5-inch extender helped a lot. Got one in each car. Makes a big difference. But the big thing is, what about from a defensive standpoint? What have I been doing? Again, I prepared a little bit ahead of time and thought I had it prepared fairly well, but I've had to make some changes. So one thing that I started out with was the Azula gun leather holster from a Glock 48 in a cross-draw, in left-handed cross-draw position. And it does make it so that I can access the firearm if I need to. I thought this would be the best idea. Now, you know that I normally carry a Staccato C. It's a single stack. It does have ambidextrous safeties on it. So why don't I just carry the Staccato? Well, a couple of reasons. Number one, single stack, 8 rounds. I always carry the spare magazine for that. Reloading without having as much function in my hands, a little more challenging. Plus, it does well, by not having that extra magazine, maybe things are a little out. Anyway, a lot of reasons I don't carry the Staccato. So I went with something simple, and that is the Glock 48. No safeties. I carried a Glock on duty for the final 24 years of my career, so I'm real familiar with it. Like it, but maybe not necessarily the best choice. So I continue to look around. We did a whole video on the Vanish, V-N-S-H. Vanish. Anyway, Vanish, they call it the Vanish holster. Tried that out. Yeah, it's okay, but it really doesn't do what I want it to do. So I dug around through the holster box and I came up with a left-handed holster for an officer size 1911, which is fine, except it doesn't fit the rail that I have on my Staccato, so I can't use that. Don't have any officer size 1911s with an ambidextrous safety, so that's out of the picture. So I thought the Azula holster was going to be the ideal, but it does get in the way with the safety belt in the car. It does protrude a little bit. It's a little harder to cover depending on the garment that I'm using. So I haven't really been using it. A couple other options I did come up with, and let me change and we'll get right back to those. It's still a little chilly here in Michigan, so when I'm out and about, I'm wearing this bearskin vest. Not so much the full hoodie, but wearing the vest at least, and maybe putting a poncho over it. So I thought it'd be okay to carry my Ruger LCP Max just tucked inside the sling. Good, easily accessible area. The problem is, even with a sticky holster, never ever carry a gun in any place if you don't have a holster on it designed specifically for that gun. But the sticky holster, which normally works pretty good, just does not have anything to stick to inside of the sling here. So real easy to fall out and pull the gun. Holster comes with it. However, I did find that it does work fairly well inside the vest pocket. So when I'm out and about traveling light, then this may very well be the way to go. In fact, it's been how I've been carrying quite a bit, so that I can still get the firearm out with the sticky holster staying in the pocket of the bearskin vest. And it does work out fairly well. And again, unless you're really cold weather where you got to put a jacket on, like I say, I throw a poncho on over this sometimes, or most of the time just out and about, going just from the car into a building. I'm real happy with just using the bearskin vest and LCP Max tucked into the pocket. And I know it's a 380, but okay, a 380 that you have is better than the 45 that you didn't bother to carry. One other option that I looked at that does seem to work fairly well, and stay with me. Okay, before I get into what I'm carrying and how I'm carrying it, I did have a viewer suggest I should use a shoulder holster. Well, problem with the shoulder holster, of course, is I can't reach my right hand up to get it. Plus, right now I don't want to have the recoil impact of shooting with my right hand affecting the shoulder at all. And if I carry it on the other side, obviously the sling interferes with it, plus I got the pressure right up here where I had the surgery. So shoulder holster, nice idea, but out in this particular situation. So what I ended up with, I reached out to Muddy River Tactical. That is my favorite holster maker. They are extremely responsive. In fact, I sent the owner an email on, it was a Friday or a Saturday night, and within minutes I had a response from them. We're talking well after business hours. I told them what I needed, and they sent me this holster here. Again, this is Muddy River Tactical. I think there's a Southwest pattern on it. I told them, you know, whatever pattern they want to send me, I don't care. It's a left-handed holster, and it's designed for, you'll see that the Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0 4-inch barrel compact is in that holster. So I picked that up from Ann Arbor Arms just shortly before going for surgery. Have practiced with it quite a bit. In fact, I'll run some footage in here doing left-handed practice on my range. I also shot it at our shooting league. I didn't do it on the camera, but I ran the place with it at the league. I'm nowhere near as fast as I am two-handed, right-handed, but left-handed, it does work. Now, nice thing I like about this 2.0 is it does have a safety on it, and it's ambidextrous safety. So Muddy River Tactical holster, and you can also see that I'm carrying my OC spray instead of carrying it in my pocket. I have my Palm OC spray in a little carrier on the belt, and right behind that is my Phoenix PD35 flashlight. And I had to move my blade from the right pocket to the left front pocket because that's the only way that I can access it. Obviously can't access anything right-handed, which necessitated moving the OC spray. Now, the one disadvantage to this is being held up by a Core Essentials gun belt here, and I love Core Essentials. It's actually fairly easy to work. I can drop the sling and I can get my right hand on it, and I can cinch this up a lot easier than I can trying to stretch a leather belt with holes, plus 1/4-inch increments adjustable, and it holds everything up. The only problem with that is when I was carrying right-handed before, 330 position with my staccato, I had a magazine and my flashlight on the left-hand side that kind of balanced out. Now everything is on the left-hand side, so I'm getting more weight pulling down the trousers there. One of the trade-offs you have to make. So when we put all this together, I am strongly suggesting you, first of all, if you know you're going in for surgery, practice ahead of time, doing things one-handed, and even using your defensive tools one-handed, whether it's your OC spray, pulling a flashlight, pulling your secondary tools, anything that you have to, practice left-handed. Also, you never know what's going to happen, so you need to practice shooting with either hand, single-handed, left hand, right hand, primary hand, secondary hand, whatever it is. You need to practice ahead of time. So as a defender, if anything happens and you have a disabled arm, whether it's disabled ahead of time and you know it and you know you're going into it, or you happen to get disabled during a confrontation and you're down to one arm, you need to know how to function your tools. So that's what this is all about. I'm not going to do a whole series on this. If you really want to know about recovery from shoulder surgery, there's a great channel out there. He did a whole series on his shoulder surgery recovery. I think it was a Live Long, Live Strong, something to that effect. I'll try to post it down, a link down below. But he chronicled his entire journey about 2 years ago. Fantastic information on there if you want to know about more recovery. So this channel isn't about recovery from shoulder surgery. It's about being down to limited with your abilities and still being able to defend yourself with your normal defensive tools. So that's where we are. This thing comes off in a couple of weeks, but I'm still going to be going through physical therapy and I'm going to be limited in what I can do. So I'm still working an awful lot left-handed. With not just with the Smith & Wesson, but a little bit with the Ruger LCP Max, and also I got another one coming up on a couple other guns coming up in the real near future, all left-handed shooting. So that's what you got to be prepared for. All right, that's it for this particular two-part series. Thanks for sticking around, and more to come.